what do I think about the Boker Plus Tech Tools? Well, you know, they say first impressions are very important, and so I was very impressed when I got this presentation box. Got this little magnetic flap, and you know, you open it up. Here's your registration card, and your tool is nestled down in this foam carrier. You know, Victorinox, now this is not a video to ding Victorinox, and I don't know that it's even fair to compare these head to head, but Victorinox, when you buy a knife, no matter how expensive of a knife you buy from Victorinox, it comes rattling around in one of these. And I know they're trying to keep their costs down, but you know, like I said, I'm impressed immediately. Now, these knives, Boker Tech Tools, are more expensive than Victorinox. That's if you were to go to Boker's website and pay retail for this knife, this City 5. If you're foolish enough to do that, you'd pay $72.95. I was able to get it on eBay for a little less than $45 with shipping. But to be fair, this would compare most closely to a Victorinox Deluxe Tinker because it's got scissors and pliers and a Phillips driver. And a Deluxe Tinker retails for $50, and you can buy it on eBay, including shipping, for a little less than $40. So this knife costs about $5 more. Okay, but it does have premium features, and the first premium feature really are these scales. You can buy this knife with G10 scales, black, that's city, or green, called the outdoors, or with carbon. But you know, G10, if you don't know, is a fiberglass. It's like fiberglass cloth with resin layered up, and then they compress it and bake it, and it makes for a really tough, impregnable, you know, heat-resistant structural element. Really, it's more than just a covering. This adds structural rigidity to the knife. And I'm going out of focus here, so I'm going to lay that down until my camera cooperates. But that's a premium feature over a Celador scale, of course, on a Deluxe Tinker or any other 91mm Victorinox knife. And the other thing that I noticed when I got this knife right away is that it has stainless steel liners. So that's going to add strength too. You know, Victorinox has aluminum liners. They went to those in 1951. And I guess back then that was probably pretty cutting edge. You know, that was a space age material, and it lightened the knives, but it's just not as strong as stainless steel. And the thing that I really like about this is that it's very smooth. There's not a rough edge on this knife. And you know, with those aluminum liners on a Victorinox, they're just stamped out, and they are rough. They make for rough edges. So I'll just say that I am very impressed with the fit and finish of this knife. It came to me impeccable. Any little dings or fingerprints or something you see on this knife is since I got it. It came impeccable. And you'll also notice that instead of just these G10 scales, or these scales being just, you know, pressed on or clipped on, they're actually pinned on with torque screws. So you have torque screw construction. So I think those three things are going to make this a tougher knife, probably. Now, another premium feature is the main blade. The main blade is a upgraded steel. It's Sandvik, what do they call it? Hang on here a minute, I don't know my steels all that well. It's 12C27, Sandvik steel. It's a Swedish steel. According to their website, that's their best all-round steel for corrosion resistance, you know, holding an edge, being able to sharpen it, things like that. It's got a Rockwell hardness of 58 to 60 HRC, which compares favorably to Victorinox, which is about 56, I believe. So a little harder steel might hold an edge a little better. And let me just tell you, these things come freaking hair-splitting sharp. You will not be disappointed with the edge that they put on this blade. 14% chromium versus Victorinox, about 15% chromium. So, you know, compares favorably there. They're both going to be very resistant to corrosion. It is a hollow grind blade, not a flat grind, and it's perfectly symmetrical. It lays in the tool straight, so it's got, you know, the same taper on both sides. This is a real attractive blade, super sharp. One other feature that all of the models of the Boker Plus Tech Tools come with is a pocket clip. It's a nice pocket clip, stainless steel. You know, it's really strong. Sits real deep in your pocket. I'm not a big fan of pocket clips, but this one isn't very intrusive. Now, you can reverse it. To me, it's kind of on the wrong end, you know, just to be, I don't know, and more intuitive. I would have liked it on the other end when I pulled it out. I think it would have opened the blade a little easier. Now, you can switch it over to the other end. but you'll notice that it's held in place with 2 screws. It's my understanding that that top screw there, the one on the outside, is actually also the screw that pins all the tools in. So when you loosen that up and reverse it there, your tools can get out of alignment, and you're going to have to be careful about that when you put it back and get the tension on your tools and everything. So I've not tried that yet. The knife's too new. I don't want to mess it up. But that might be a little bit of a drawback, the way they have that pocket tool attached. Now I got the City 5 because I've got a couple of issues with these tech tools. None of them are big, but I think one of them would be there's just not a lot of tool choices yet. You got a lot of choices in scales. You can get the black or the green G10 or the carbon. But as far as the tool combination, the only one, for instance, with the Phillips driver instead of a corkscrew, which I wanted, is the City 5. And it's a 4-layer knife. And I really just didn't want to go much beyond 3 layers. This is just, I have to tell you, a little blockish, a little thick in your pocket. And when you have it clipped in there, it kind of can roll sideways. So I really knew that I wanted like a 3-layer knife. I thought that would be more carryable, more comfortable. But I had to go to 4-layer to get the driver because I didn't want another corkscrew on a knife, which I don't drink wine. It's the most useless tool in the world for me. So that's kind of a drawback. They just don't have quite the tool combination that I was after. And another drawback is one of the tools. I don't know if I showed this in the little slideshow, but this is kind of the most controversial tool on this knife. It's a little sharpened serrated blade, but it doesn't open all the way, and at the end it has purportedly a screwdriver. But so that's going to be very awkward to do a screw with because you're not in line with it, right? And I've seen video where a guy cut his finger, because he slipped out on that blade, working with a screw. So I think, the screwdriver is just something to throw on there because I didn't want a sharpened tip. The idea of this really is it's like a little mini rescue tool that you can, get in and pull a seatbelt strap or rip a strap or something without, gouging somebody's skin. It works really well for cutting rope, cutting paracord, even small wires. I've tried all that. It's just something I'm going to have to get used to. I wish they would have put a different tool there, or at least let it go all the way open. Go all the way open. Because again, with that odd angle, I'm not using that screwdriver with that sharpened edge there in the way. It's just a little too scary for me. So I guess in conclusion, I would ask, does Victorinox have anything to worry about? Boker says they brought this knife out to modernize their 1869 camp tool, which I guess was their original multi-tool. But it's obviously them stepping into Victorinox's space and competing head-to-head with a knife-based multi-tool. And my answer to that would be, if Boker stays committed to this. Now, oftentimes you see these tools come and go, but if Boker stays committed to this product line and enhances it and refines it as they receive user feedback, then yeah, Victorinox is going to have to step up its game a little bit. This just has some modern premium features like the G10, the stainless steel liners, the torque screw construction, the Swedish steel premium blade, the pocket clip. It's a nice knife, and I can tell you that it just feels substantial and serious in your hand. I think that's a knife that's going to hold up really well over the years. It's a fine knife. I'm very impressed with it. I think I'm going to enjoy it. So I hope that's been helpful to you if you're considering one of these. I appreciate you watching, and have fun collecting.